thousands of New Yorkers who actually qualify for free or low-cost New York Medicaid never even apply, simply because the system is so confusing, leaving them totally exposed to massive, devastating medical bills.
For someone who just arrived in the U.S., missing out on this essential safety net means a single, unexpected illness could literally derail your family's entire financial future. But by the end of this explainer, you will know exactly how to navigate the 2026 income rules and secure your family's health coverage with absolute confidence.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover who qualifies. Second, the 2026 income rules. Third, how to apply smoothly. And finally, your right to appeal. If you found this helpful, subscribe. Every week, I publish guides like this one so you always know what to do next with your money in the U.S.
Okay, Section 1. Who actually qualifies for coverage?
Figuring out healthcare in New York can honestly feel like wandering through a giant maze. It's incredibly stressful. If you're feeling lost, you are absolutely not alone. So let's simplify it right now. There are really just 3 foundational boxes you need to check to access this system. First off, you got to be a resident of New York State. Second, you must be a U.S. citizen. Or third, you must be a qualified non-citizen. Now that last part is absolutely crucial. A qualified non-citizen usually includes legal permanent residents, so folks holding a green card, as well as refugees and asylees. This specific distinction gets overlooked all the time by families who just incorrectly assume they don't qualify. But checking these boxes is your very first step to getting the benefits your family deserves.
And here's the thing about New York's safety net. It is incredibly broad. It's designed specifically to catch as many people as possible, not just one narrow group. This expanded coverage includes low-income adults between the ages of 19 and 64. And yes, that absolutely includes you, even if you don't have dependent children. It also covers pregnant individuals, making sure maternal and infant health is a top priority. Then we've got children up to age 18, which is just critical for growing families, along with seniors 65 and older and people with disabilities. The main goal here is for you to look at this list and immediately identify where your own family fits in. Seriously, don't count yourself out before you verify. This program exists specifically to provide that critical buffer against financial ruin for a massive chunk of the population.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, the 2026 income rules. Now, I completely empathize with how mathematically intimidating this next step feels. Looking at financial thresholds can make anyone's head spin, right? Especially when you're navigating a brand new system in a new country. But I promise you, you do not need to be an accountant to figure this out. It literally all boils down to one acronym, MAGI. That stands for Modified Adjusted Gross Income. I know, it sounds like highly technical, bureaucratic jargon designed to scare you away. But it's really not. Your MAGI is simply your household's total income before taxes are taken out, minus a few specific allowable deductions. That's the whole shebang. Once you realize it's just a basic measure of your pre-tax income, it totally loses that intimidating bureaucratic power.
So let's take that MAGI concept and apply it directly to the official 2026 numbers. The limit dynamically scales depending entirely on your family size. So if you're a single person applying on your own, the 2026 monthly income limit is right around $1,836 a month. But watch what happens as the household grows. If you're a family of 4, that limit jumps way up to $3,795 a month. To put that into perspective, if you and your spouse are both working part-time jobs, you'd look at your combined pre-tax income and compare it against that $3,795 threshold. You just calculate your household total and find your specific spot on the chart. Taking a breath and breaking the math down into these monthly chunks makes figuring out your eligibility so much more manageable.
Quick pause. If this is already making things clearer for you, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps other immigrants find this video when they need it most. And drop a comment telling me, what's the one thing that confused you the most when you arrived? I read every single one. Oh, and to make things even easier, we've put together a free document checklist. Just comment New York below and we'll send that right over to you.
Okay, let's dive into Section 3, How to Apply Smoothly.
Now that you've got the basic requirements down and you've identified your income limits, let's shift gears. We need to tackle the actual physical application process. And I want you to feel super confident here. This is highly doable. The name of the game is just knowing what to expect. The absolute necessity for a smooth process is thorough preparation. I mean it. Before you even start clicking around on some online portal, you must gather your documents. You're going to need 3 essential things. First, proof of identity, like a passport or a state-issued ID. Second, proof of income, so things like pay stubs or tax returns. This definitively backs up that MAGI number we just talked about. And third, proof of residency in New York, which could just be a utility bill or a signed lease agreement. Getting these physical documents organized and sitting literally right on your desk beforehand is the secret to avoiding massive headaches later.
Once your documents are completely ready to go, there are 3 pro tips you need to follow step by step so your application doesn't get stuck in the system. Number 1, apply online. This is, hands down, the easiest, fastest, and most trackable route. You want to go directly to the official state marketplace at nystateofhealth.ny.gov. Number 2, and I really need to forcefully emphasize this because it is absolutely vital, upload clear photos of your documents. Guys, submitting blurry photos is the #1 mistake causing processing delays. No joke. If the caseworker reviewing your file can't read your pay stub, they can't approve your coverage. Make sure those images are crystal clear, well lit, and capture the entire document. And number 3, know your appeal rights. Understanding what to do if things don't go perfectly the first time is crucial, which transitions us perfectly to our final and maybe most important topic.
Section 4, your right to appeal. Let's move into this final empowerment phase. I really want to remind you that getting a rejection letter in the mail is absolutely not necessarily the end of the road. Look, bureaucracies process thousands of applications every single day, and they make mistakes all the time. Files get crossed, documents get misread, automated systems glitch out. So the single most important action you can take away from this explainer today is to appeal that decision. I cannot reinforce this enough. If you've done the math, you've gathered your documents, and you truly believe you meet the 2026 income criteria we just went over, you must fight a denial. Do not just give up, assume they're right, and accept defeat. No way. You have every right to advocate for your family's health and demand a second look. To make it as easy as possible for you to take action, the official links to nystateofhealth.ny.gov and the exact income charts are directly in the description below.
Getting your healthcare covered removes a massive weight off your shoulders. It's really the very first step in building a secure future for your family in this country. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Once your healthcare is covered, what is your next goal for financial peace? Think about it and keep building. I'll see you in the next explainer.